It's another home game on tap for the Newport Gulls, and after they took a trip up to New Hampshire to take on the Keene Swamp Bats, they had a 6-game win streak snapped. But it's an opportunity to bounce back today, back on home territory, as the Newport Gulls welcome in the Mystic Schooners for a crucial divisional matchup between the top two teams in the Coastal Division. Welcome into sunny Cardines Field here in Newport, Rhode Island. It's a Friday night encounter between the Gulls and Schooners. I'm Sam Reese, and this is the Newport Gulls pregame show. We got plenty of fantastic interviews coming your way ahead of tonight's matchup between Newport and Mystic, so stick around. All that and much more is coming up next.
Welcome back to the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Riley Daniel. As it stands, the Gulls' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 6. And as it stands, I'm standing here with number 6, Drew DeLucia. Drew, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Well, Drew, it's been a real resurgence from the bullpen in the last week or so. We've seen the bullpen not just hold leads, but actually be a major part of some comebacks in the last couple weeks. What's changed in the last week or so?
I think everyone's just starting to realize that playoffs are coming up to it, and we got to win these games, stay in the hunt. And we're doing really well right now. Everyone's starting to pick it up a little bit more, and it's going really good as of right now.
Speaking of impressive performances, let's talk about the one from your teammate standing next to you, Michael Cavallo, the other day on Wednesday night. Can you talk a little bit about his performance?
Michael always has been the guy to go in there, fill up the strike zone, just absolutely shove in big spots. And that bases loaded appearance when he came in and struck him out with no outs, striking out 3, that was huge, and you should be fired up for that. We all were.
He should. We all were. That's a great way to put it. Speaking of things that have fired us up, it seems as if you've had a really great time on your off days here in Newport. What have you done that's been especially interesting?
Jake Burley, me and him have been golfing a lot, so playing golf with him has been always fun.
What course you been playing?
Green Valley.
How's that one play? I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet.
Straight, but you lose balls really easily, so it's been hard.
How many would you say you lose in an average 18?
4 or 5. A whole sleeve sometimes, maybe, but like 4 or 5, yeah, that's a good number.
All right, Drew, so you come from Franklin Pierce, a D2 school. Mm-hmm. This is a team that's had a lot of pitching performances from players at smaller schools, thinking Adam Marr from D3 UMass Dartmouth. What's the unique perspective that playing at a smaller school gives you coming into this league?
Grittiness. I got a little bit of grit on me, and we're all gritty. We all come from a little bit different. I love all the guys that are in the SEC, the ACC, but they come to play at Pierce. I don't know if they're going to be that gritty to hold it down. Some prima donnas in that league, but no, I'm just messing around. We got a little bit of grit on us, and not a lot. Big guys at big-time schools don't have that.
Speaking of things that are unique, tonight, the final night, at least for the regular season, in the Orange, the final Friday night feature. What's the mentality going into that, and what do these Friday nights here at Cardines mean to you guys?
Oh, it means so much. Friday nights at Cardines is the best. Wearing those orange jerseys really gets fired up, but I didn't even know it was our last one. That makes me kind of sad, but we're going to have to get a win here now. Well,
it is the last Friday night here at Cardines for the regular season. Make sure to tune in on ESPN Plus at 6:35. But before we do that, we're going to take a short break, and then the Newport Gulls pregame show rolls on.
Back here on the Newport Gulls pregame show, I'm Sam Reese. Now pleased to be joined by pitcher Michael Cavallo. Michael, great to be with you. How's life here in Newport?
Oh, it's amazing. A lot of good time here. Got to spend a lot of time with our friends, new friends here from the Newport Gulls. It's amazing. I love it so far.
That's great to hear. And I want to get straight to, the point surrounding you, where you come from Ostrava, Czech Republic, a country where baseball is the 3rd most popular sport behind the likes of hockey and soccer. So how has the journey for you been, just throughout your baseball career, moving to the States and playing here in your high school years, and then going to Georgia Tech? You'll now be heading to Chipola College, a JUCO powerhouse down in Florida. You experienced the World Baseball Classic last year. Just take me through that entire journey you've endured.
I mean, it was a crazy journey. Lots of connections along the way, but it all started in Ostrava, where we brought a shortstop from California, I believe, and he put me on with a summer ball team in Arizona, which I played for 1 week, and it ended up me going to Combine Academy in North Carolina, and then committing to Georgia Tech later, going to Chipola next year. I mean, it's been crazy. So, I mean, I'm enjoying the ride so far.
That's great to hear. And out of, in your younger years, you were ranked the #1 rated prospect out of Europe by Perfect Game. So have you sort of felt some pressure to deliver as such a highly touted prospect coming from overseas, or do you sort of just put that to the side because you played on really the biggest stage you can at this stage in your career at the World Baseball Classic for your country.
Yeah, I try not to pay too much attention to it. It's just a number to me, but I keep it in the back of my mind, and I realize that if I'm number one, I gotta keep working to be the number one. I'm not stooping to let someone else take that spot away from me. So it just keeps me going and helps me be motivated.
And going back one more time to that World Baseball Classic, because I have to imagine that's the highlight of your young career so far. Just what an honor was that to participate in that tournament, represent your country, and not only that, you had a real solid performance against Germany in an elimination game where the lights were shining very bright.
It was amazing. I mean, it's the biggest stage of the baseball world. It was amazing. I try to take it all in, and I'm still to this day, I can't believe that was real. It was the biggest honor to represent my own country at the biggest stage. It was awesome. I mean, I can't thank Czech Republic enough for that. That was amazing.
That's awesome, and an experience I'm sure you'll never forget. One more for you, Michael. Here in Newport, for you personally, what has it been like just playing for the Gulls here at Cardines in a premier collegiate summer baseball league, and how have you felt pitching-wise on the mound as well? Because the last few bullpen appearances for you, you've really settled in and have been finding the strike zone with consistency.
Yeah, I mean, Newport it's been everything that I could ask for in the summer. I got here and all the guys clicked right away. We made some great connections and friends along the way. I struggled a little bit at the beginning of the summer, but I had lots of conversation with Coach Long, and he got me to a right spot. And I feel like I'm working through it, and I'm catching the right form at the right time, hopefully for the playoffs. But yeah, Cardines Field, it's amazing. You're playing every Friday here, try to perform for the fans. They get excited for us. It's amazing. I love it here.
Oh yeah, always a great time playing in front of the great fans here at Cardines, and truly one of the more unique venues in the entire country. Michael, I appreciate the time. We appreciate the time as always. Keep that smile on your face. We can tell you're enjoying it here in Newport, and we'll be back in a moment as the Newport Gulls pregame show continues after a quick break. Stay tuned.
I won!
That's a good play!
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has paid over $57 billion in prizes and contributed over $8 billion to Rhode Island's general fund. Your Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for 50 years and counting.
Welcome back into the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese, now joined by Jose Rodriguez, a media intern for the Gulls last summer, and out of kindness of his heart, he's helping out today here with the Gulls as a camera operator. So, Jose, can you just talk about what your experience was like last summer here in Newport and what your exact role was with the Gulls last year?
So my role last year with the Gulls was doing the game recap. Some games I was in the broadcast booth, as well doing interviews, player interviews and coaches interviews. And my experience last year for the Gulls was unbelievable. I had an unbelievable experience that we won. Obviously the championship, we brought the champion back to Newport. It was fun all summer long, and I wish it didn't end.
Right, yeah, I'm feeling a similar way as an intern this summer, where it's going by so fast, and I'm sure you experienced that as well. And while you're not a full-time intern, you still have connection to the Gulls. You're helping out today. Can you talk about what you're doing this summer, because I know you're still involved with baseball?
Yes, this summer I am part of the New England Knockouts, which is an independent professional baseball team in Brockton, Massachusetts, as well with the Brockton Rocks, which is a future collegiate baseball league. So I'm still involved in the game. It's a lot of work, a lot of process that goes into it.
Putting in the hard work is Jose. And can you also tell everyone where you go to school, what your career plans are, and how you've used your experience last summer with the Gulls and then this summer with the Knockouts to maybe progress in your career journey?
Yeah, so I just graduated with my bachelor's in media and communication with a journalism concentration from Salem State University. Now I'm actually going to be a grad student in Boston University, taking my master's in journalism, and I use everything that I learned with the Gulls last year to put it into progress day in and day out, and just to get better. And my future goals is to be a play-by-play broadcaster, or just writing game recaps and doing interviews and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. Your passion for the game is clearly evident, Jose. Keep up the hard work, and congratulations on graduating from Salem State and your future endeavors as well at Boston University. We appreciate the time as always. That's Jose Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back on the Newport Gulls pregame show in a moment, so make sure you stick around.
Welcome back to the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Riley Daniel, joined by Nico Brini. Nico, it seems crazy to say, but it is possible the next time we see you Gulls back at Cardines, you guys will have a playoff spot locked up. What's the mentality knowing it's only now with a match number of 6 here?
There's really no difference. I mean, we do the same things we were doing all season, and hopefully it's locked up when we see you again.
Speaking of things that have seemed to make no difference, you've recently moved from the 9 spot to leadoff, but it seems you're just hitting better and better. How has being in the leadoff spot changed your mentality, your approach at the plate?
Honestly, it's just the difference of what pitches I'm seeing, but my approach has stayed the same, and if I get the pitch I'm looking for, hopefully it's been doing the same thing that I've been doing all year.
And what's it like with such a lefty-heavy lineup at the top, especially thinking you, then Nolan, then Dixon to start off the lineup?
It's fun to steal bases that way. So, other than that, though, I mean, it doesn't really matter much. We've got a lot of good bats.
Do you guys have a competition about stealing bases? Because it seems like every day you try, Nolan tries, Dixon tries at least once.
There isn't, but I'm sure kind of under the scenes there might be one.
It's been a big week for the Gulls. What was your reaction to Colby's news on Monday when he got drafted by the Blue Jays?
We all couldn't be happier. I was in right field when it happened. We heard everyone going crazy in the bullpen, and that was the coolest feeling for him. So.
Did you know all the way out in right field what was going on, or did it take you getting back into the dugout to figure out what was happening?
As soon as we heard the noise, we put 2 and 2 together.
Well, that is definitely some good math. Thank you for your time, Nico. Thank all of you for tuning in. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Sam's going to wrap up the Newport Gulls pregame show.
Welcome back into the Newport Gulls pregame show, I should say, as I'm stumbling over my words here in the sunshine at Cardines Field. We're just about ready to put a wrap on things as we gear up for a crucial divisional matchup between the Gulls and the Schooners. Newport heading into the day holds a 2.5 game lead for first place over Mystic in the Coastal Division standings, so it's a big one to say the least here on a Friday night in Newport. Thanks so much for tuning into the pregame show. If you want to tune into the action between the Gulls and the Schooners, you can do so over on ESPN+. Coverage begins at 6:30 with first pitch slated for 6:35. But that's it here on the Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody.
I won! That's a good play!
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has paid over $57 billion in prizes and contributed over $8 billion to Rhode Island's general fund. Your Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for 50 years and counting.